think I got you hosted now.
And there we go.
Yep, I got you hosted up there. We're good.
Good. All right, there we go. So this was the pre-shows is for you kind of give everyone a chance to get those notifications. Because I learned in the past, once I started talking and people jump in, we're already like 10 minutes into the first segment.
Right.
So it's like,
this is also when you get the BS about why it snowed at my house today.
Yeah. So what happened with
that? Mercury is in retrograde, and I don't know. My wife told me before we went to bed last night, it started to rain, and she's like, "It's gonna snow tomorrow." I was like, "Why?"
She was like, "What?"
Like, why? And we woke up this morning, and she's leaving for work. She's getting ready in the bathroom. She has to leave the house. I work from home, so I let her have the bathroom in the morning. And she comes out of the bathroom, and she's like, "It's really snowing out there." I'm like, "No." I go outside, let the dogs outside, and it's like there's like we got a strawberry bed outside. I made some garden boxes last year. There's strawberries in there. They're covered in snow. Houses behind us covered in snow. Snow's blowing all past. It's like, what is this nonsense? What is this garbage? Like, I love snow. I do. I absolutely love
when it makes sense though.
Yeah. When it makes sense. It didn't make any sense this morning.
Hey, what's up? Good to Game Radio. What's going on, man? Good evening, fellas. We have Sean Deity here with us today. And he's going to talk to us about some... Of course, we're going to get into the mental health discussion, but we're going to get into some fun things and also informative things before we get to the serious talk. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, Justin, appreciate that like on Facebook. I see you, man. Another fellow veteran.
Also, hey, right on. There we go. Also, I know you don't get no snow down there in Louisiana.
No,
because I was there.
That's why I was like, clearly you're not in the South.
Because I was there, and I was at Fort Polk in it was 1999. I was at Fort Polk. That was where I was when I was stationed there. It was a terrible time of my life. Not just because I was at Fort Polk. It was a terrible time of my life. It was a horrible time. What do we talk about? Leesville. I was at two strip clubs, one bar, and a Walmart. That's it. That was what was there.
Well, actually, what's up, Chris? How you doing, man?
Well, actually, but I will say this. When I was there in 1999, it was right about December time. We had a freeze. It didn't snow. It sleeted and rained, and it dropped the temperature below 30. And so they shut down the post for like 3 days.
Yes.
Because nobody knew what to do.
That's Louisiana.
When there was ice on the road. Like it was already bad enough because your roads are the most horrible roads in the world. But then it put ice on them. And I remember that they shut it down.
That was 99. That happened 2020 or 2021. That same thing still happened, so nothing changed.
It was 99 or 2000. It was one of the 99 because that's when I was there. Was because I left in January 2001.
When the roads get ice, the city shuts down. That does not change.
That's just a safety precaution, man. Y'all don't know what
to
do.
Queen D, how you doing? How you doing, Queen D? Dr. D. But
I'm up in the Northwest, so
Northwest? Okay.
Yeah, usually Pacific Northwest. So I live in Idaho currently. Okay. And this is not where I'm from. This is where I ended up.
Where you at right now?
I retired out of a military base that's out here at Gowan Airfield, and I just stayed. So
understandable.
But we have seasons. I moved here from Hawaii, and Hawaii was beautiful, but it had no seasons. Just one.
Oh man,
one beautiful season.
I bet it was beautiful out there in Hawaii.
I love it. Oh, I've been back a few times for like business, and I took my wife there last year for our 10-year anniversary. She'd never been.
Nice. So how was that?
Oh, it was beautiful. It's gorgeous. Beautiful. She was on the island for 18 hours. She was swimming with turtles, like live sea turtles out there on the North Shore.
I bet that was just...
I made her day. She was like, we can go home now. She's like, we're good.
Hey, Raven. Hey, this is my fellow former college roommate, and he's actually in Hawaii right now.
Right? Okay. Yeah. So, out there you're in Oahu, where you at? Where you at? You at Schofield Barracks? Where you at? Is he a Marine? He's a
former, I want to say staff sergeant. You're a former staff sergeant in the Army as well. So
you might be up there at Schofield then.
You're gonna like this discussion, Justin, man. We have Sean Deity here with us today of the StackUp organization, charity organization, and he is in Mililani.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's gonna talk about StackUp and pretty much the 4 pillars and just the mission statement of what they do, and they're doing some awesome stuff for our vets, and it's going to be pretty awesome to get you all to see what they do. He said, I'm a vet. I'm out, Sean. Hey, what's up, Lily? How you doing? All right, we have 1 minute left on the timer before we get started with our pre-show segment. Just wanted to give everyone a chance to file in.
I got a question for you.
What you got, man?
When did you decide to get braces as an adult?
When I started interviewing people and then really started taking, I guess, being a content creator a little bit more serious and meeting people like yourself, meeting people at panels and different things like that. And the first thing they look at when you introduce yourself, hey, I'm Zach Lewis, I'm ZiggyTheBeast. First thing to look at is your teeth.
Why is it always the teeth?
I don't know.
But I did the same thing. When I was getting out of the military, probably about 2 years before I retired, I decided, you know what, I can afford to get braces. I'm gonna go get braces, and I wanted them forever. Wanted them forever. So, and I'm so glad that I did it. Even as like a 30-something, like late 30s, I did it. Like mid 30s, I did my braces, and I was early 30s, I did my braces, and I was like, this is absolutely worth it. It helped with my enunciation. It helped with and I'm public speaking, all of those other things that I was already doing, like doing all what I was doing for counterterrorism and intelligence. And then it just, I always had slight lisp because of how my teeth were. I didn't like the way my crowding. I didn't like, I hate that I have a permanent retainer on the bottom behind my teeth. Yeah, because it messes with my tongue. It makes it all wrong. But I'm glad that I did it. So whenever I see another adult that's got braces, I'm like, I know, because
you understand.
Because it's important. And people, I think that some people are like, are you vain? What's the matter? And I'm like, yeah, I'm vain.
Yeah.
I want to look good. That's a silly question. Who are you? Get out of here.
Get out of here. How dare you question why I want straight
why I want straight teeth? Why don't you? You mad?
Great answer, all facts. See, game understand.
You rock them though, so that's the thing. You rock the braces, so.
Oh yeah. We have the big smile. We show them off, because I'm only gonna have these I got another 6 months before they come off, so I'm just kind of enjoying the ride, having them on, and feeling like my mouth got smacked with a baseball bat every once a month. But when they tighten them,
I did the Invisalign at first. I had to do the metal braces after. The Invisalign was worse because it cut my gums up. The plastic, because like it sucked your gums inside the plastic.
Oh man, appreciate it, Tatter Ross with the follow. Miss Pinky is here. What's going on, Pinky?
That's my coworker over there.
You remember Pinky from PAX? And hey, was she at PAX?
Taterus, yes, she was. Yeah,
I'm about to say you look familiar. Okay, hey, nice to meet you again. Appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. So before we get into the show, we have a pre-show segment for Sean here before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show. And what it entails is a bunch of questions that really have no substance, that don't have anything to do about anything, but it'll give us a little bit of an idea of who Sean is as a person, at least an idea of what we think he is as a person. So let's see.
Someone's going to go downstairs and scream at his dogs in 2 minutes because they won't shut up.
Oh,
my wife finally did get home, and so they're going nuts down there.
So first question I have for you is McDonald's or Burger King?
Oh.
So we're gonna start with something easy.
Burger King. I'm gonna go with Burger King because I like a Whopper better than a Quarter Pounder, but McDonald's fries are still better.
All right. We have.
Sorry, I got to qualify my statements. I can't just say them. Like, somebody's gonna be like, "What?" I'm like, okay, look, hold on, don't get mad yet.
Oh, Piggy said facts.
Well, I think the Whopper is a better burger. I do.
So, Taco Bell for lunch or Taco Bell at 1 a.m.?
Taco Bell for lunch, because we all know that is Jack in the Box at 1.
Ooh. So but you can eat Taco Bell and not like it cut your stomach up?
Nah, it's fine. Taco Bell's all right. But you also said like Taco Bell. Then you got to talk about Del Taco. Is Del Taco better? But look, Taco Bell has Doritos Locos Tacos, and once you go Doritos Locos, you never go back because that's just their best. They're just the best.
All right. Sega or Nintendo?
I'm gonna say Nintendo because that was majority of my life, but I have a soft spot for Sega for sure.
So you said Sega's your answer?
No, Nintendo is my
answer.
Nintendo.
Why? Yeah. Why Nintendo over Sega?
Because it was my first. So I had an Atari 2600, and then my NES was my first system that was like mine. That wasn't like a hand me down. Like the Atari was like one of my youngest aunts, and so I played with that. But the Nintendo NES system, the Nintendo Entertainment System, was my box. And then after that, it was the Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64. And I'll tell you right now, GoldenEye in the barracks. When you're playing GoldenEye in the barracks with four people in your barracks room on a split screen, and everybody's sitting there yelling at each other, GoldenEye was the game. So Nintendo all day long.
Okay, that's definitely that definitely makes sense now that you put it like that. GoldenEye, yeah. GoldenEye was the game back in the day, man. Like the ultimate multiplayer game, couch co-op game.
100%. One of the first like games that you could really sit in, like I say barracks room because that's what I'm talking about. It was the first time you can get together with people over the 4-player screen, and stop screen looking me. You know what I mean?
Looking, yep. I used to do that too. I was guilty of that. I was a screen looker.
Over there playing Odd Job. Get out of here. What are you doing? Golden gun.
Worry about yourself. All right, next one is Coke or Pepsi?
Coke every day.
Okay, see, this is why we love Sean.
Coke has more bite. I think it has more peppery, like, and more bite.
This is why we love Sean. He understands. Are you a flip flops or sneakers?
I'm actually socks in the house only. I don't like being barefoot, but it depends on where I'm at. I wear my flip flops because I lived in Hawaii for a long time, but I do like my sneakers. So it's hard to tell. I'm telling you, I'm a socks person. I like socks. I'm wearing socks right now, no shoes in the house.
Same. All right. We have another one. Arcade or movie theater? If you had go catch a movie with some friends or go to an arcade with some friends?
I'd go to an arcade.
Go to an arcade?
I'd go to arcade. I'd still go to an arcade. I haven't been to a Dave & Buster's in a minute, but I would still go to an arcade.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And then we have a few more left.
Keep them coming. I like these.
Art festival or music festival?
Music festival. I like art, but music is just, you want to get me going. I want some music behind me.
Theme park or water park?
Theme park. Roller coasters all day long.
Quick trip or staycation?
Quick trip.
Gotta travel. Do a quick trip, or some people like to just stay at the house.
Oh, I'm lazy. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm lazy. I like to stay at the house. Staying at the house is fun and it's relaxing, and that's fine too. But I like to travel. If I can get out on a plane. Some people get like real stressed out about airports. I don't like airports, but I also don't mind traveling, and I like to go to places. So stay in a hotel. Hotel beds are beautiful to sleep in.
Ziggy, how you gonna diss me? And I say, oh no, I wasn't ignoring you. I'm sorry, man. We just having a conversation here. We're having a podcast going on. How are you doing, Jamie? I'm here with Sean Deity of StackUp organization. He is a fellow Army veteran. We're going to be talking about the StackUp organization, the type of things that they do, the good will they bring to people all over the world, and more. And it's going to be a very good conversation. And we're going to also talk about mental health, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we're going to kind of talk about that as well. And then bowling alley or roller skate park.
Oh my god. You know, so I worked at a roller rink when I was in high school. That was
Roller
my first job. So I was a skate guard and I worked the skate room at so I'm a roller rink. I haven't roller skated in 20 years, but that's where that would be my answer.
All right, you got 3 left. Riches or happiness?
That is not a simple question. I'm gonna pick happiness because I'd rather die happy than die rich.
Understandable.
But that's a tricky question.
It is very tricky. Hang with friends at home or party with them out in the town?
Hang with friends with home. Home is safe place. Take care of people. No driving.
And the last one is StackUp or any other organization. I'm just playing.
Yeah. Well, actually, StackUp all day long. But
StackUp all day.
I will say this though. There's a ton of fantastic charities that are out there.
Correct.
We partner with several of them. We do different things throughout the year. You know, next month is Pride Month. We're going to be partnering again with some friends of ours in the LGBTQ community for, you know, we got some, you know, LGBTQ veterans. There's, you can't go wrong when you're working with children's cancer and things like that. So the one thing that I do tell people all the time is if you're going to work for the charity, you're going to look at a charity to work with, make sure you do your research.
Exactly.
Sure that you take a look at their financials. Make sure you know who you're talking to and who you're working with and what that supports. But lots of great charities are out there. Charities exist because there's a gap in society that's not being filled. So, you know, it's always good to take a look at what's out there.
All right, Sean, and all right, everyone. That was the pre-show. Y'all kind of got a little bit of a sneak peek with Sean before we start this interview, but we're gonna get to why everyone is here today. We see we have a good bit of people in the chat tonight. I definitely appreciate y'all across different platforms. Once again, Jono, Miss Pinky, Sean, appreciate the likes on Facebook, and appreciate you that are watching here on Twitch as well. Stay tuned. We're gonna go through our intros, and then we're gonna get the show on the road. So we'll see y'all in a few minutes. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special episode of Ziggy's Epic Podcast. I am your host, ZiggyTheBeast, and I have a very, very special guest here today. For those that know what I went through a few weeks ago, we went to PAX East with Miss Pinky, 8-Bit of Fun, and some other friends, and I had the pleasure of finally meeting some people from the StackUp organization. And for those that do not know, StackUp organization is a 501c military supporting military charity supporting active military active and veteran service members from the U.S. and allied nations by promoting positive mental health and suicide prevention through gaming and geek culture. They utilize a comprehensive approach consisting of 4 pillar programs, which we'll learn about today, which is why we brought Sean in today to be able to talk a little bit more in depth with us about those today. 1 being the supply crates, 2 being the air assaults, 3 the stacks, and 4, which is even I think most important, is the Overwatch program, which we'll also talk about here today. Just to get a little bit into it, the supply crates are a video game care package that are sent to deploy units and veterans in need overseas. The air assaults are all expense paid trips for veterans to attend gaming and geek culture events. The stacks are our volunteer force for good. These teams are located in many places around the globe, so these are kind of like your foot soldiers. They kind of get everything done on scene. And then we have the Overwatch program. They provide a 24/7 crisis intervention and peer-to-peer mental health support through their Discord community. So Sean is going to talk way more in depth into these 4 pillars and what they're about. And we're going to also kind of ask some more questions and get to know a little bit more about him as a person and some of his stories, as well as StackUp as a whole. So I bring to you today Sean Deity Kelly to the stream. Y'all make sure to give him some support in chat and show him some love in chat.
Or perhaps you're a civilian that has a veteran in your life. We want to stack up with you. StackUp.org brings both veterans and civilians together through a shared love of gaming. StackUp serves not only active duty troops and veterans in the U.S., but also our allies throughout the world. We do this through 4 primary programs. Supply crates, giant boxes of the latest in games and gear sent to active duty troops and veterans to raise morale, build camaraderie, and help combat post-traumatic stress. Air assaults, where we fly deserving veterans to life-changing gaming and geek culture events. The Stacks, our local volunteer teams coming together to support military personnel around their community. And our Stop Squad, StackUp suicide awareness and mental health support team. Our trained volunteers are on call 24/7 if you're looking to talk with someone about your problems. We're here to help. Please reach out to us through StackUp.org to find out how we can support you or the veteran in your life today.
The war had just started when I arrived to Iraq. We did our thing, we had some experiences, and when we came back, when we got off that plane, before we can even embrace our loved ones, our fire team leader says, do not tell anybody what happened to you, or what you saw, or what you experienced, or you will probably lose your job. A lot of folks who really don't understand mental health see it as a weakness. We always jokingly said, suck it up and press on. You wear a beret for a reason. This mindset that we can't be vulnerable, we can't have emotions, we can't experience them, let alone process them in a healthy manner, that starts the stigma of mental health.
StackUp is a military charity supporting U.S. and allied veterans' mental health through gaming. Before we were sending Xboxes to Afghanistan, we were helping out, we were raising morale, but now we're actively saving people's lives.
If you want to do an accreditation program, it's kind of helpful.
Overwatch is our newest program, and it is simply having a chat client up 24/7. Someone is sitting there monitoring the channel, and if somebody comes in and says they need to talk or they're interested to get into a game or something, we have somebody available for them.
In most cases, when a person is expressing suicidal intentions, if you can talk to that person for that first critical couple of minutes, more often than not, they will not kill themselves. And that's what we do. They may not want to come out there and see a counselor for an hour, once a week, but they may come out there and play a video game and start talking about their experiences of war or the struggles that they're having right now. It has become my passion to end the stigma of mental health.
And I welcome everyone to the show. Sean Deity Kelly. How you doing, man? Thank you.
I'm great. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. This is fantastic. it's always fun to do stuff like this. Get to meet some new people, get to talk about what we do, and answer some questions. And whenever somebody takes up interest in mental health and suicide prevention for veterans, this is a place that I'd want to be. So thank you very much, Zach, for having me. I do appreciate that.
No problem at all, man. And I can say I knew about StackUp. I want to say it's been about a year that I've known about StackUp. I'm on the stream team on Twitch, and I've been in the Discord, but I actually was able to meet you all as an entity at PAX, and y'all are everything that I expected y'all to be. Y'all are super cool. Everyone I talked to was very pleasant to interact with and talk to, and that right there just sold me on the program as a whole and what you all do, because I'm more of a in-person kind of guy. So to see everything that you all do in person and seeing how enthusiastic everyone is about the organization, that just I kind of had no choice but to kind of get into it as well, So I just want to say y'all are doing a great job over there, and definitely keep it up. And I am also happy to get into a little bit more about StackUp and letting you share this platform with me to talk about StackUp and the 4 pillars and everything like that. So I'll let you take the floor and just kind of first introduce us to StackUp. Like, what is StackUp?
Sure.
I know we kind of briefly talked about it in the video and the intro, but from your perspective and your words, what would you how would you put StackUp?
So the way that I look at what we do at StackUp is that we try to make the worst thing in someone's mind the last thing in their mind, and we do that with gaming and geek culture. So we put a controller in somebody's hand, we give them a game to play, maybe we give them some people to play with, a community, we give them some outlets, and maybe they get engrossed by that game. Their time is now, instead of focused on the worst things that they brought home from combat or from their experiences in the military, or even while they're deployed, if they are deployed somewhere else, then we can kind of get in front of all of those bad thoughts and all those bad things that they're focused on, that they're fixated on, those things that kind of turn the screw a little bit more every day for a lot of the veterans that are out there. And if we can make that worst thing in their mind the last thing in their mind, then maybe the last thing in their mind doesn't get to consume them, and instead we fill them with some joy, with some community, with some fun, and we keep as many veterans here with us as we can. And that's how we do what we do, is through gaming and geek culture.
So StackUp, when did this organization start? What's the history of StackUp? Is this a new organization? Has it been around for some years? What can you tell us about that?
So we are in our 7th year running as StackUp.org. Our executive director, Steve Machuga, has been doing this for, I want to say, about 11 years, 12 years now, in different varieties. He is also an Iraq vet. Went about the same time that I did to Iraq. I think he went in 04, I went in 03. The way that it all started was when he deployed as an infantry guy, he's an Army Ranger dude. He had a little Game Boy Advance in his uniform pocket while he was out there. So something that he's probably playing like Final Fantasy Tactics or something while he was out deployed. That was just something that he was using. And while they were deployed out there, they received a care package. His unit did, and it was from a library, and it was full of romance novels. So it's a big, fun laugh that they're like, oh, wow, what the heck do we do with this? But at the same time, the intention was there. They knew that somebody was trying to help. It wasn't a prank, it was, look, these guys need something to read while they're out there. So they used those as target practice. They went and shot them up, so they didn't go to waste. They went, they went and trained the rounds in on them. But then when Steve got home, he started thinking that, what was it that we were trying to meet? What were we trying to do out there? And his driver went back to Iraq after him. So he put together the first supply crate, which, put I think it's an Xbox or PlayStation in there, and he packed it full of games, and he sent that off to Iraq to his driver. So that became the first supply crate. And from that moment on, I think that's been Steve's driving force, has been, how do we continuously build upon that, employ that, as gaming is a lifesaver for many people, and it is a mental health boon for quite a
Yeah.
few veterans that are out there, as well as other people. I mean, veterans don't have a corner on the market of mental health issues, right? We have a lot of them,
That's
but we don't.
a good
But
point.
everybody has them. I mean, first responders have them. My wife is a teacher. She's dealt with PTSD.
Right.
I've got nurses in my family that have seen, especially over the last couple of years, have seen horrific things. But when you focus on veterans, it's speaking the language becomes, as you know, speaking the language becomes a thing that you have to be able to parlay and be able to have those conversations about. And some of them are tough. And veterans, for whatever stupid reason, we hate talking about our shit.
Yeah.
We just do. I think a lot of people hate talking about their personal stuff, but veterans, for some reason, we get anecdotally, for me, like I get real covetous. Like I don't want to tell you about all my problems because they're mine, and they told me to suck it up and drive on. And that was been like just drilled into me the whole time.
Suck it up. Yep.
Embrace the suck it
Embrace
up, drive on,
Mm-hmm.
all these different things. So you come home with that. And when you come home with that, you have internalized these things and you think that no one can solve my problem and no one can help me solve my problem.
It's up to me to fix it or deal with it.
And that leaves people feeling pretty isolated, right? But we employ this gaming tactic, this geek culture tactic. This let's like, for some people, like gaming is a tool, right? You look at what we do with gaming culture; it's a tool. For some people, it's a doctor, it's a pill, right? For some people, it's their faith, maybe their church, right? For some people, or in prayer, some people it's the gym. Some people are just workout nuts, and they're like, that's where they get all their endorphins and they get all the release. They get out there, run 5 miles, and they're like, I did it. For other people, it's something different, right? This is gaming. As much as reading a comic book or watching a Marvel movie, you can occupy your brain and occupy your time and think about some things that are much healthier than focusing on the worst things that you have going on in your mind. It doesn't mean that you never have to deal with them. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't seek help, that you shouldn't, try to work through some of those issues. But if we can give a healthy distraction to somebody while they're dealing with those things, I mean, man, so much. It's a whole lot more fun to hang out with some buds and play some Mario Kart than it is to sit there.
Definitely.
If that makes
Jamie
sense.
said, I talked to Ziggy when I'm down. He said, "Oh man, I appreciate that. That's what we do, man. We just try to make sure that we listen to everyone and try to not no one's problem is too small. Even if someone might feel like it's inadequate, you still hear that person out. So I appreciate that, man. But with the StackUp organization, Sean, is this just in the US? Or do we have some StackUp members overseas? Is this just domestic?
So we focus on U.S. and our allies because when I went to Iraq with Germans and Polish. When I went with armies, when I went to Afghanistan, I went with the Dutch, the Brits, a couple other agencies that were out there with us. So same bad guy shot at me, shot at them. So that we just have more veterans in the U.S. than they do, but we definitely support our allies. For our programs are meant to service all of those veterans. We have veterans, I believe, all the way out. We have our Stacks program, which is our volunteer program.
Yep, the volunteers.
We have those all the way out from, I believe, New Zealand all the way to I don't know if we still have one on the Isle of Wight in the UK right now, but I know that that's something we have had. So as far as that, so we like to say that we're trying to expand. And
so this is not just United States. Like, you have people literally everywhere.
We're primarily U.S. because that's
primarily U.S. I got you. Yeah,
but hey, if you're out there in British Columbia and you're like, hey, I want to start a stack, let us know. Talk to us because we want a Canadian stack.
Interesting.
If you're down there in Mexico City and you're like, hey, I'm a veteran, I want to go and I want to start a stack in Mexico City. Let us know. We want to know what that looks like, and we want to tackle those problems. We want to make sure that we can expand the footprint and help veterans wherever they are.
So that's good information to know. So that's pretty much how, like, so just say someone in blank, fill in the blank city, the USA, if they say they want to start a stack, they just contact you guys at StackUp.org, and they'll go through the process on getting that started.
Absolutely. Right on the website, you can go to our website, StackUp.org, and we'll have all of our programs listed. If you go to the stacks, you're going to see a map. And the map is going to show you where all of our stacks are located. And if you have one near you, you can click on it and find out who to contact to get involved.
Gotcha.
If you don't have one near you, you can contact us right through the website and say, hey, You don't have a stack out here in Timbuktu,
So
Nebraska.
like Miss Pinky, she says she's in Detroit, so
we did have one.
Okay.
I don't know if we still do or not.
So she would just say she'll look at the map, see if they have one in Detroit, and then she could say, "Hey, Sean, I would like to start a stack in Detroit," and then they'll go through the process on getting that started. Okay, I see how that's pretty. I'm
gonna answer your question right now.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see. Let's scroll in.
Keep your question up on screen. Thank you, Ms. Pinky.
Yep, we have a stack in Detroit, Michigan, and stack leader Ken Kabinski, and there's a contact number right there on the website that you can scroll in and look at.
There you go.
So
awesome.
That's there. I knew that we had one. I just because of COVID and everything else. I sometimes our stacks will grow and contract.
Understandable.
Sometimes people will age out, or they'll deploy, or they'll move. Their home station. Some of these are made by active duty military bases. Some of them are maintained just in big cities like Detroit. And so, as people, just like any other organization, that's a volunteer organization. If no one's there to care for it, then they need somebody else to step up. Yeah, you bet, Miss Pinky.
Awesome. So about these 4 pillars, is there a focus before we get into them? Is there a focus on one more than the other, or is it like an equal focus on the supply crates, the air assaults, the Overwatch program, the stacks?
Yeah, it's a full service complement. So it's like, our volunteer program, the stacks, is meant to do a certain thing that it does, right? During COVID, we were out there doing, Meals on Wheels type stuff, delivering food. We were out there doing cleanup. So even during times of pandemic, we were still out there doing community
So this is more than just video games. This is a legit, so this is just getting that out there. This is more than just video games. This is foots on the ground, community service, a charity organization,
as well as helping us volunteer run booths. Like at PAX, we had some volunteers out there. If there's a local, like, let's say that somebody's out there in San Antonio, Texas, and there's going to be like a 5K, and we want to have a stand there. Our local stack might go and like set up a little table with some flyers and brochures and tell people about what we do with StackUp, and so that they're spreading the good word, if you will, about what we do for veterans with our other programs. So the stacks are there to support the other programs as well and get the word out there on the ground, on the street, as well as conduct some goodwill within the community and do some good things, having game nights. Our stacks community is also located online virtually. So even during COVID, we have game nights every night in our Discord. So people can pop around, play some games. They'll do movie nights. They'll do things like that. So it's also a community element to that as well.
That's very nice to know. So, and this is people that aren't veterans, that can, like civilians, can they join as well? Or
absolutely.
What's the criteria to join the Discord or the community?
Be 18 years or over.
Okay.
That's it. That's the only. You could be a veteran, you could be a civilian, you could be active duty, you could be a spouse, you could be a son, a daughter. You could be any of those things. You just have to be over the age of 18. That's the one thing. Just a legal requirement, just for normal.
Understandable.
Yeah. That's not some weird requirement. That's just like, hey, sorry, you got to be 18.
I appreciate that. Pink Squad and Miss Pink and the Pink Squad donated $10 to stack up to our supply crate initiative on the channel. So definitely appreciate that, Miss Pinky.
Actually, that's probably a really good opportunity to talk about supply crates real quick, because
supply crates.
So supply crates are a gaming care package, like Zach had said earlier. And what's in there is there could be a Switch, a PlayStation, a console. In some cases, and we've done this recently, there's no consoles, but there's tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons and board games and things like that, because they requested that. But they're full of games and video games and comic books and swag. And we send those to troops that are deployed overseas, which we do have plenty of troops deployed overseas, even if we're not in Afghanistan and Iraq anymore.
Right.
We have Marines deployed at every embassy around the world. We've got Navy and Marine members afloat underway on submarines, on aircraft carriers and carrier groups all over the United States. Or all over the world, rather. We have people at Air Force bases and Army bases, from Korea to Germany to the one that I was about to say it. I'm going to say it's Domingo, but I think that might be there is a little tiny Air Force base in the middle of like the South Indian Sea. Diego Garcia. Diego
Okay.
Garcia. So I mean, and we literally sent a supply crate out to Diego Garcia, like the other side of the freaking planet, the opposite side of the top to bottom, other side of the world, and we're out there sending supply crates out there. And
That's
those
awesome.
are meant to be mental health release. There's supposed to be, maybe some combat fatigue if people are in harm's way. Plus, just being away from your family and being deployed is always, a stressful time frame. Sometimes people are using it to connect with. They're playing video games online to connect with folks back home. Sometimes
That's
they're
a
just
good point
palling
too.
around.
Yeah.
So, but that's what a supply crate is in general. That's what a supply crate's for. Or they could just be at home, just like yourself, sitting at home. And maybe you're a veteran, and maybe you're like, I miss my troops. I miss being in the uniform. I'm no longer in the service. I'm dealing with all sorts of mental issues. I'm having trouble connecting with my family, whatever the case may be. But maybe that supply crate is something that connects you and says, oh, I can play. And I have seen this happen where I've got a spouse that requested a supply crate for her husband that was, he missed births and birthdays when he was deployed, and now he's at home and he's feeling a little disassociated with his children. He gets a Switch, and now he's getting to play Animal Crossing with his daughters. He's getting to play, getting to reconnect in that really cool, interesting family way, because as we all know, sometimes video games could just be a cool way to sit around with the family and just have fun. Right? So the supply crate is meant to do
awesome.
It's like a multi-tool. You can do so many things by putting a video game in somebody's hand or a group of veterans' hands. But those supply crates are also something that you and content creators can earn to support. So for instance, you have you have $1,000 goal. If you raise your $1,000 goal, then Ziggy will sponsor, and the entire community will have sponsored a supply crate to a veteran or a group of veterans somewhere in the world.
And thanks. I see we had another $10 from Good Game Radio. Definitely appreciate it, sir. $10. That's $20 already has been raised to our supply crate. Thank y'all so much. This means a lot.
Ooh, yeah, another one that just came in too.
So definitely appreciate it. We got Dita5 dropped 50. The House of Five from Dita5. Once again, Miss Pinky's husband. Dropped 50 on us. $70 raised already for our goal of supplying a supply crate for a lucky veteran or family member of a veteran. So definitely appreciate y'all for doing that. And what is I guess a story that you like to tell about the supply crates? Like, what's a good story? Like, I know you just told one, but what's another supply crate story that you have for us?
So that is probably one of my most it's my go-to story, because
I love that one.
It happened to it was one that I had worked with the streamer, because we tell that when they open up that supply crate, there's a piece of paper in there that has the Twitch or YouTube channel of and the person whoever sponsored that from that community. So that was one I remembered just very directly. But there was another one that I got to work with that was two retired old soldiers, two retired old army guys, two E8s, two E8s. I think one was an E7. I was an E7, so one was an E7, one was an E8.
E7. And so for those that don't know, you see how he just allows E7, So for those that do not know, like army or military lingo, E7, Sean was up there. Just saying. Hey, thanks for the follow.
If you're a Star Trek fan, I was 7 of 9. Because there's 9 enlisted ranks. So.
If you were to talk to Sean and you had to have your hands behind your back like this, in they call it parade rest. You had to, he was up there.
You embarrass me now.
Yeah.
But so there were these two old soldiers, and they had requested supply crates, and I think they knew about who we were, and they were retired, both of them, and they were living in different parts of the United States, and obviously they missed each other. They were two battle buddies. And so they both ended up getting supply crates, and then they sent us back pictures of holding up their information for their supply crates, and these two guys got to get to play games together online.
Thanks, James.
The neat thing about that was it turned out that they were in two different parts of Texas, I believe, and they actually got together and they started going to I want to say VFW halls and training, providing training on United States Buffalo soldiers. And so they were going and doing full trainings. Yeah, just historic trainings on Buffalo soldiers. And I thought that was, freaking awesome, because they're out there, giving some history lessons to people from some black soldiers from the Civil War era that people didn't quite know about. And so I think that was pretty pretty awesome that they were out there doing that. So that's another really fun story. It turned into something like it has a bigger story. There was more to it after the supply crates went out. So there's a lot of fun things like that.
That's
Most
awesome,
supply
man.
crates, I think that their stories they're just as important and they're just as impactful because they're just for that veteran. But whenever you get to see a veteran, here's another one. First off, PTSD from combat is one thing. That is one thing that people experience. And then there's also lots of other things in the military that can cause trauma. Military sexual trauma is a big one. So women.
We have. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have the Breakers 8-bit with the hot 70. Appreciate it, 8-bit. You remember you met 8-bit at
I did
Tech as well. Thanks, 8-bit, for that, big bro.
We've been chatting on email a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's a good deal. That's pretty awesome. Thank you very much, 8-bit. So I was saying, military sexual trauma. So if you know the term MST, military sexual trauma. So we had a female who was in the military for a period of time, and she experienced an assault. Right. And that led to military sexual trauma that she had to deal with. She also ended up having multiple surgeries and some other issues that plagued her for a long time. And her story was harrowing and gripping, but it was a long process for her to go through the treatments and everything that she went through.
Healing,
she found out through the healing, and she found out about us. And so we were able to provide a supply crate to her. And that was sponsored by, at the time, a streamer on Mixer. And I got to get that information back to the streamer that raised that money for that supply crate for her and give her that story. Sometimes people tell us their story and sometimes people don't.
Understandable.
And that's okay. Yeah. You know, we talked about this. Sometimes us military people, we just don't like to talk about stuff, and we just don't like it. And sometimes that's the problem, right? We get told we got to, figure it out on our own. But that was one that still resonates with me because it was such a terrible story that turned out to be, she got so much benefit from, as she explained to us, so much benefit from what she got from that. And she felt that she was important, that somebody cared. And I think that that's important too, is when a veteran gets something that says, hey, look, we're looking out for you. We care about what you got going on. And we know that it's important. And we know that we can't fix it. But here's something that can help you take your mind off of it. Now come talk to us and let's play some games together.
Yeah, and then a lot of soldiers feel that being in the military is a thankless job. So getting that supply crate is like, all right, I actually got to thank you for once, So I'm sure that actually makes people feel a lot better about themselves as well.
It's cool too. Every once in a while, we get to come back to a community. It's my favorite part of my job. This is like a close second.
Okay.
Doing like podcasts like this is like my close second, my favorite part of my job. But my favorite part of my job is when I get a content creator in their community that sponsors a supply crate, and I get to come back to you guys and I catch you while you're live, and I'm like, psst, check your DMs. Check your DMs. I just sent you something, and I got pictures back from the veteran that opened up your supply crate, and you get to share that with your. I like to sneak and ninja those things in there, and it's always fun.
So hopefully we'll have one of those events down the line. But definitely, y'all doing some good work, man. This is crazy. This is only one pillar, y'all. This is only one pillar. This is only one pillar. So speaking of the pillars. Let's kind of move on to the next one, or one of the next ones. Would you like to talk about the air assaults or the stacks?
We talked about the stacks.
We did talk about the stacks already, yeah. So
we didn't mean to. I think we ended up just talking about them because it was part of the conversation. So
so we did talk about the stacks. So let's talk about the air assaults, about the all expenses paid trips and different things like that. Does anybody just get some, or how do y'all select who gets them and who doesn't? Different things like that.
So again, on the website, just in the same spot, you can go see if there's a stack near you. You can go and you can request a supply crate for yourself if you're a veteran, or you can request an air assault if you're a veteran. And so you fill out the form. You tell us we verify people's military service. We make sure that all of that is good to go. We have our processes for that. Our director of veteran services, Dave Krause, he's a Marine, and he goes through and he He vets all of those, make sure everything's in the proper order, and then we try to meet the highest best need, and he does that.
Gotcha.
So when people are putting forth their stories, we get requests for everything from like, hey, I'm a veteran, I'd like a crate, to hey, here's all the things that I've been dealing with, and here's all my trauma, and here's what it would really help me, and the compelling story. And so we work with all of that as well. But for an air assaults are really freaking cool, man. When you guys were there at PAX East, you probably even saw we had a couple of gentlemen. We had three veterans that were there as air assaults, and they got all expense paid. We bring them out to the event. We get them the badge. We get them get them into, if we can get them into secret rooms with developers and play games early. If we can get them into, whatever they want to do. They play D&D back at the Airbnb. I just used a bunch of acronyms that hopefully everybody understands.
I followed that.
Yeah, did it make sense? Okay, because I was like,
I got you.
And they're playing D&D at the Airbnb at the COB, and it's like I'm just throwing them all out there.
At the PAX East, yeah, I got you.
PAX East. But so they're out there rolling dice back there at the Airbnb. We take them out to dinner, give them a great time. And for some of these veterans, it's disabled and deserving veterans. So it's not just disabled veterans; it's also veterans who just might need a trip somewhere, because sometimes it's not a physical disability. Sometimes we're just dealing with our own internal stuff. And our own mental health issues. But we bring those veterans out there, we give them a safe space, and some of these veterans may not have done that by themselves. They wouldn't have done it with other people because of their social anxiety or their PTSD, and some of them just might not have been able to afford to go, and we give them that.
Yeah,
we bring them out there, and we're like, this is for you. You can have this. You can have PAX East. We're gonna make a safe space for you. My boss is a big guy, huge guy, tall guys, like football player size guy. He will not let anybody harm you. He will take care of you, and he will take you to all these places, and get you all the goods, and take you to all the booths that you want to see. We give them the safe space, and that is it's something that a lot of veterans would think I'm not allowed to be there. It's too agoraphobic. There's too many people. I don't feel comfortable, and we give them that safe zone, and we let them have that. We give them that experience.
Cool, man.
And actually, I'll let you ask first, because you're supposed to ask me a question. It's from Twitter.
Oh yeah, about the phalanx. That's right. Phalanx. So
Phalanx house.
I kind of saw a little bit about that. So yeah, can you explain about the phalanx?
So we officially announced it yesterday. We had a live stream from the Phalanx house. We have a current air assault going on right now. We have three or four veterans that are out there in LA at Van Nuys. We have a donor who basically gave us a house, a big kind of a mansion-y house, and it's got a pool and a jacuzzi, and it's got a D&D tavern in the backyard. It's full of like a LAN table for gaming. 10 computers, got a VR area, consoles up the wazoo, streaming area. That is a gaming place for veterans to come to. So we'll be flying veterans out to there as well, just like we are this last weekend. They're there today. And that is something that we could do all year long, because it's in sunny California, and we no longer have to wait for a PAX East or a PAX South. And if we don't have a PAX South, or an E3 shuts down and we don't get to go, or the pandemic shuts everything down again and we don't have events to go to, we can take veterans to Disneyland. We can take veterans to Hollywood Studios. We can take them to the beach. We can take them to La Brea Tar Pits. We can take them to Hollywood. All these great places. And it's an air assault. It really is. But it's just an expansion of that program, and it's pretty fantastic that we're able to do that now.
So this is more than just the conventions now. This is, like you said, expanded to more than just that.
This is a gamer house.
That's absolutely awesome. Yeah, it is. And we also have a question for you. He said, is it similar to something that they have here in Missouri called Honor Flight? Actually, talking about that.
I know it. Yeah, I know what honor flights are. I think for some people, I don't know who runs Honor Flight, or if Honor Flight is its own particular 501c3. My uncle, my great uncle, actually took it as Honor Flights to Korea many years ago, and he was able to go to Korea, and actually, that was just a thing for him. So it's similar to that, right? So Honor Flights had historically, I think, been a lot of World War II vets, Korean War vets, Vietnam vets. And taking them to go to some of these places to revisit in a peacetime area, like where they had conducted their service. So I think it's similar to that. I don't want to misspeak and say I know more about that organization than I do.
Understandable.
I think that's pretty accurate. So something similar for veterans, but we are all focused on gaming. So
thanks for those likes, Bridge. So I guess we go into our last pillar before
stop
we get
program.
to our second segment is the STOP program. And the STOP is acronym for the StackUp Overwatch program. And
Not to be confused with Overwatch the game.
Correct. In which myself and 8-Bit have a lot of hours in.
Do you?
Yes.
We're gonna have to talk about that because I got into the beta for Overwatch 2, and we got to talk about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yay or nay? Good or?
It's Overwatch.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
You may have a different opinion, but it's Overwatch. So
it's Overwatch. I mean, that's pretty much what everyone that I've talked to has said. I mean, it's Overwatch.
It's Overwatch. I mean, to me, it's the same game. But I digress.
Yeah, but
So,
yeah. So the Overwatch program, 24/7 crisis intervention service. So let's talk. What can you tell us about that?
So just like a 1-800 hotline for suicide prevention, like a lot of people know the 1-800 talk, that suicide prevention hotline, they save lives. It's a great resource for people to use, and we want people to use all the resources available to them. What we have at the Overwatch program for STOP is a Discord. Discord
Okay.
is something that's ubiquitous within gaming. All gamers know it, use it, have used it. I probably spend more time DMing on my phone on Discord than I do texting anybody in the world ever. Yeah, because everything I do is through. I'm just DMing.
It's Discord.
But Discord is for everything. I've got Discord for my little brothers from when we played Diablo or when we play Apex. They jump in there. So.
Oh, Diablo, okay.
Yeah, Diablo 2 ladder, baby. It just came out. So we're playing around with that a little bit. But see, a Discord is accessible. You could have it on your phone. You could have it on a PC. You could have it on a tablet. It is ubiquitous, again, within gamers. It's every game is out there every game that's out there has a Discord that you can join and learn about. And you can, maybe even provide some feedback to that game. And so in the same vein, we've got a community Discord that has a element of it that is a suicide prevention only channel. And that STOP channel, we have some people whose names are embroidered in pink, or emblazoned in pink, and they say STOP. And those are trained HIPAA certified volunteers that are cleared, non-clinical HIPAA certified peer-to-peer support. So if you hop in there and you say, hey, my name is Ziggy526 and I'm not having a great day right now and I really want to talk to somebody, someone is going to take you, triage you, try to get you some help, try to find you some local resources, try to figure out what's going on with you, have that conversation, be that person to talk to you. And we also have a clinical board. So an actual clinical board. We have people who are that we can call if we have to elevate a concern. So let's say we have something called a duty to warn. Okay. So if somebody is going to hurt themselves or someone else, or we have an indication that they're going to hurt themselves or someone else, then we elevate that to our clinical board. And from that, we can go through and try to contact health and welfare services and local law enforcement, things like that, if we really think that someone's going to be in crisis and hurt themselves. So that is a really important program to us. It's something that we didn't have when we started, but we could tell you that through the pandemic, I'm looking at numbers right now. In 2021 alone, we had 431 engagements in Overwatch. That is a 320% increase from 2020.
What?
So what we learned, and this is something that I think the world will learn, is veterans who were in crisis before the pandemic, when they were isolated, were further isolated. And that is something that we were very happy that we were able to be there, and we've had to expand our Overwatch
Very
program.
happy that y'all were there, man.
Because people were able to find us, right?
Yeah.
And so, some of it is because people know that we're there. So we have to know that that's just word of mouth.
That's true, too.
But also, the world sucked the last 2 years, my friend. It has sucked very bad for a lot of people, and for some even worse. So that is a thing that we want people to know about. We want people to join that Discord, to be in there for no other reason than to just have it accessible, or to be able to hand it to somebody else and to say, hey, listen, brother, you're in trouble right now. You're really talking some strange stuff, and I don't know how to help you. Why don't you go in this Discord and let me get you some help? And that person might be like, hey, I don't want to talk to somebody. They don't know me. You know this conversation because I know that you don't know me. I don't want to talk to you. I don't trust you. Who are you? You're anonymous in Discord. You could have a name in Discord. I said Ziggy526. You'd be Deity279. You jump in there. Nobody knows who you are. And you're asking for help. And we're not concerned about who specifically you are. Right now, we just want to know that that you are in crisis and that you need assistance right now, and we want to be there for you.
Man, that's some powerful stuff, man. And when did this Overwatch program? When did it start? It seems like it's been
4 years ago, I think.
4 years ago. Okay.
I if I'm misremembering, somebody forgive me, but I'm pretty sure it's 4 years ago that this came about with Matt Bergendahl, who is in the video that you just showed the video about the stigma of mental health. He was our Stop Overwatch program manager. He's now on our clinical board. He's now left us officially here, but he's on our clinical board.
Okay.
And we have another man named Zach, who is our current Stop Overwatch program manager.
Wow. We have a comment here from James. He said, it's hard to open up to people. There's always fear of judgment. Asking for help is the hardest, most rewarding step you'll ever take.
Yeah, this is where we get into some of that stuff we were talking about before, Zach, where it's like, I get to say, okay, what I'm about to say is not going to represent StackUp necessarily, but it's going to represent me as a veteran, as somebody who deals with some of these things. I will tell you personally, anecdotally, I am notoriously bad for talking about what I have going on in my head because it's private and it's mine. And some of it is a strange type of, it's safe. I don't, there's other parts of me, like my wife has known me. This is an interesting anecdote. I try to share this as, in conversations like this to make this relevant. Most people in my life knew me before, during, and after I was in a uniform, except for my wife. I met my wife as I was retiring. So everything in my life with my wife, that rhymed, we have shared together. I will tell you that she knows me and who I am right now better than any other person on this planet. And I don't tell her everything. I don't tell her all of the things. I've told her stuff. I've let her know some things, but there are also things that I don't share because that's not fair to her. I don't want to give her that trauma. That's my trauma, and I have to deal with it. And I got to figure it out. I know I do. But if I say that to her, now she has those thoughts in her head, even though she didn't experience them. And that's not fair the way I see it. And so that's what a lot of veterans do is we struggle with who we're going to share that with. Do I give it to this person, or do I call this counselor, or do I make this appointment? And then when you go to a counselor, or you go to a psychiatrist, you're like, how much do I share? Do I overshare? What if I share too much? Are they going to call me crazy? Are they going to assign me a bunch more pills? Are they going to commit me because I'm absolutely bonkers? And the answer to that's probably always no. But we are so paranoid about talking about what happened to us or what we experienced, because maybe we feel like we might lose that part of us, because it's part of us now.
That's a good point.
So it's not healthy to keep that stuff in. That's a fact. We know that you need to be able to figure out ways to deal with it. That doesn't mean you have to share everything with everybody. It doesn't mean you have to tell everybody, but it does mean you need to find some tactics and some strategies.
Correct.
And for us, we're using video games. Maybe you're not ready to talk about what's going on with you, Zach. You personally, you might have had some things that have gone on in your life and your military experience that you are not ready to let other people know that happened to you, and that's okay. That part is okay. But play a game with me. Let's go hang out. Let's go drop some Apex. Let's go drop hot somewhere. Let's go get some good rounds in. Let's go have some fun with something, and then you're not thinking about it for that 2 hours. And then maybe over a course of a few weeks, you're like, hey, Sean, that thing that you guys got with that stop program, I'm not feeling real good, and I might want to use that. Slide right into those DMs and let's go and work with that. And then when they get they try to find you some local resources, maybe that's when you're like, you know what? I feel comfortable enough now. I feel confident enough now that I can have a conversation with a professional and not feel so restricted. But hey, that's a long journey for a lot of people.
It's a long journey, yeah.
And we're not trying to solve that in a day, but we are trying to, in the meantime, help you be here, stay with us, play some games, and not be part of some statistic that we have to read about on Facebook every other day from somebody else that we served with. You know what I mean? And that's been, for me, that's been the hardest part of the last, however many years, is firing up Facebook and finding, I'm like, again? You know? And that's the rough part.
So you're like, and sometimes you think, I thought everything was fine with fill in the blank, and you find out no, it really wasn't. Or people are really good at putting on a brave face on social media, or whenever you see them, if y'all ever do hang out, Like I was just hanging out with Zig yesterday. Like what? So I noticed that is a real thing, and sometimes having that outlet or having that person to talk to does help. But it's also trying to break those layers of defense down, you know. So I guess
in the
it's like,
meantime,
yes.
go ahead.
No, what you think?
Well, I was saying in the meantime, that's we can find ways to be around each other, to live with each other, to actually have some common ground on certain things. And if that common ground is playing some Mario Kart, I mean that's a fun. I mean, I will say that the people that are out there playing Dark Souls for 12 days straight, trying to beat that damn game without getting hurt, I'm like, you're not helping your mental health at all.
Right.
You're out there trying to do some no hit win, no hit.
8-Bit says the same thing. You sound just like 8-Bit right now.
Really? I don't know who does that.
You sound just like 8-Bit right now, because he says like this cannot be enjoyable. I play games to have fun. How are you enjoying this? But yeah,
and I do understand that some people, like the completionist part of some people.
No, I
get it.
We're just joking, of course.
Absolutely, but like it. Now here's the real one. This is the one that I think is funny. Tarkov. Oh my god, I hate that game so much.
Tarkov. Yeah,
I've never played it. I've never played Tarkov. I will never play Tarkov. I have a hard enough time watching people play Tarkov because half the time they're in their backpack organizing crap, and I don't want to watch a backpack simulator.
That would be me.
Are you really?
I would be somebody like I'm the guy on Apex that when you drop in, I take maybe 10 minutes looking at let's see the peanut, like Zig, like let's go. We gotta like wait, hold up. I think I might want the.
But I don't have enough arc stars.
Yeah.
I had to drop an arc star so I can grab another stack of ammo.
Yeah,
you understand this is a problem. Guys, I can't move forward. I can't go fight a fight. I have one arc star and 2 stacks of light ammo.
Should I get the backpack or should I get light ammo? Because I would Zeke, let's go. Yeah, that's
see, you play like me. I play with my brothers and they're like
Pinky said a loot goblin.
They're third party in the team over here, and I'm out here like looting. Like, I'm trying to drop some cells. I found a battery. Yeah. They're like, where are you at?
Yeah, where are you?
I'm like, I'm where we dropped. We're halfway across the map. We took a balloon.
Yeah, that's why me and Apex didn't get along. I just stuck to it's a good game, but it's a little too sweaty for me.
It's Pinky, the type of sweat.
Pinky knows. She knows.
I have almost 2,000 hours in Apex across a couple of different platforms. I love that game. It's I think I'm better than average, but I don't have enough time to play it. I say I have 2,000 hours, but the game's been out for like almost 3.5 years or whatever, 4 years. So I get a lot of enjoyment out of that game. I also get a lot of anxiety out of that game.
It's one of those things that I like watching people play it, but I can't play it myself. Like I'll play it if someone asks, but I would watch someone play it all day.
I can watch
live through them
pro players play the game because it blows my mind how good people can be at video games. I'm a 45-year-old man that has played games his entire life, and I have been very, very good at video games at certain parts of my life. And then I play that game, and I get dusted.
Yeah,
that's me. By like team that I didn't see. I heard them for exactly 2.6 seconds, and then we're wiped. I'm like, what happened?
Like, what happened? It happened so fast. I think I've played so much Overwatch and like PvE related games that if someone goes down, my initial reaction is to heal them. Let me res my buddy. Like, no, they're like, focus on them. Don't worry about me. Like, what you mean? Don't worry about you. I have to heal you.
Heroes never die.
Yeah, that's me. I'm the mercy resin someone in the middle of that's me. In the middle of a bullet fight. I got you. But yeah, man, that's you're right though. Like games definitely bring a lot of people together. You know, you can forget about a lot of the world's troubles within that small window of the time that you're playing the game. Like what some people say is they play games to decompress. You know, they might have a very stressful job, and part of decompressing is coming home, you know, after everyone is good at the house. They get in their chair and then they pick up their controller and then they game to relax, get their mind off things. So I definitely agree with having games be kind of that focal point to start breaking those barriers down?
Palmer's got a good question there.
Let's highlight that. Do you think games like Call of Duty do more damage than actually help them? Ooh, that's a good question.
It comes up. People ask. People have asked me that same question, and I'm not going to talk about this like I'm some. I do have a degree in sociology. I've got a bachelor's degree in sociology. I've got a bachelor's degree in philosophy, and I've got a master's degree in community development and housing and urban development. So, I mean, I think I have a pretty good grasp on certain social problems and certain specific things and statistics. But what I will say about war and war games is that being a soldier who has deployed to combat zones, who has been shot at, who has seen death and has seen the worst parts of war, and that's about the most I'll say about that.
Gotcha.
I still play Battlefield, and I still play Call of Duty, and I still play all of those games too. But they don't trigger me. I engage with those games in a way that I realize that they're entirely phony. There's nothing real about them. You know, there's a couple of games that have been very, very close to the line of too realistic for me to engage with. For example, there's a
thank you.
There's a game called it's Modern Warfare. It's Black Ops 2. No,
Black Ops 2. Okay.
Wait, is it Black Ops 2? No, it's the mission is called No Russian, and it might be Modern. It might be Call of Duty 3 or Call of Duty 2, but the mission is called No Russian. At the beginning of the game, it says, "Hey, there's a mission in this game that you need to say yes or no to play right now. If you say no, you're not going to be able to play."
A disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer when you first join the game. And so I was
wow.
like, I bought this game. I want to play the whole game through. And in the game, you are playing a character that is going through walking
Modern Warfare 2. He D knows he's a Call of Duty. He's a Call of Duty there
we go.
Librarian.
So I was close. I know I said Modern Warfare 2 is one of those, but in that particular
Dark Swag.
Oh yeah, that's my homie. That's our social media manager right there.
Hey, how you doing?
She's throwing the StackUp emotes over there.
Throwing the StackUp emotes. I like those emotes.
Those are from our Twitch channel. So we got a partner Twitch channel over there. But in that particular mission, when I got there, I realized that this was a little bit over. It was too much for me because it was a mission where they were killing civilians and some other stuff.
So crazy mission. Yep.
Yeah. So it was too much, and I felt wrong playing through it, and I never fired a bullet. Like, you can do the thing. You can shoot the bullets at civilians. And for me, it was like, no, I did not fire a single bullet. You have that choice. So there's definitely games that veterans should pay attention to. But by and large, when you talk about a game that triggers you, Stardew Valley is not a game that somebody's going to get triggered by. So if they get triggered by Call of Duty, they're probably going to stay away from Call of Duty. If they get triggered by Battlefield, they're probably going to stay away from Battlefield because people don't usually engage with triggers in that way. But I also don't think that they do much personally. An anecdote from me, again, not speaking for anybody else but myself.
Correct.
As a veteran, as a combat veteran, there's no realism in those games by and large that make me want to swear off of them. I think it's fun to play Call of Duty. It's fake blowing things up, and it's like playing paintball as far as I'm concerned. It's just you're getting mad at 5-year-olds that are better than you on console.
Pinky said her community loves it, and she hasn't received any negative comments from vets in her community.
And you will, though. Like, you're gonna find somebody's gonna not have a problem with that. That's not what do you do, right? What do you do with that? And then, as a content creator, you're like, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Thank you. Please move on to another channel and go find, what makes you feel better. That's probably what I would do. But as a person who plays those video games, they don't affect me particularly. And veterans that I know that it does, they just stay away from. Like I said, people are out there playing Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing. And Mario Kart.
I didn't think I would like that game, but I ended up enjoying that game a lot.
I didn't make my own island, but I do have a house on my wife's island, and for her Animal Crossing. I'm just saying.
I thought I wouldn't go. I thought I was not going to enjoy that game. Dart said Dart Saga swag. Okay. Dropped in to see how it's going. Try to when my work buddies are doing chats.
Hi, Sahara.
Hey, brother Genesis, a fellow veteran, big dog. Hey, we're with Sean Deity from the StackUp organization, and we've been talking about the the supply crates. I'm sorry. We've been talking about the stacks. We've been talking about the air assaults. We've been talking about the Overwatch program, and all all of the awesome things that StackUp is doing as a organization. So definitely appreciate you coming in, man.
Yeah, we covered all the programs. We talked about everything else. And so now we're kind of
Yeah.
talking about gaming and mental health and all of that. I can tell you before we get too far away from that particular subject, there's definitely games out there that I avoid, but for the most part, when I play a game, my intention in playing that game is to have fun and de-stress. And so
Gotcha.
I'm going into it with the intention of I'm trying to enjoy something. I'm not trying to relive something. There are times, and I don't know, Zach, if you have this, if you feel like this, but this is just me. There are times where I will go and throw on something like Band of Brothers, and I'll go watch Band of Brothers, and I will experience that, and I will feel a certain way, and it's intentional. I'm actually looking to feel that way because I'm trying to make sure that I'm grounding the way that I'm already feeling about some of my PTSD and things that I've experienced. And by all means, don't even think that what I went through is anything like what people in World War II or World War I went through. I will never compare any of my anecdotes to any of that stuff, as I won't compare them to other soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines.
Right. Your experience was your experience.
But I do go and I engage with that type of content because I know it's about as real as it can get. And sometimes I need to remind myself that it wasn't fake, that the things that I experienced were real, that they weren't, that way they don't hide in my brain as some fake memory of something
like
that
this
didn't
happened.
happen. This happened. And I don't know if it's healthy or not. I'd like to think that in some ways, because I'm consciously doing it, that I'm doing it for a purpose, that it's healthy. It's almost like a therapeutic, cathartic type thing, just to, it's partially to let me know that I'm not alone, that people 100 years ago that fought a war that I wasn't alive for, they think about all the people that were in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, all of that stuff, and are no longer here with us. Think about all the mental health struggles that they had, and we never talked about it.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
We never one time talked about all these soldiers and sailors and all these people that had they saw way more war than I saw. They saw way more, but they went back to work when they came back. And so some people would, I'm sure some people would argue, well, they went back to work and they were fine. Okay, I guess greatest generation then. Great, yay. That's not true. We know that every single one of my grandfathers who were in World War II, 100% had PTSD. Damn right they had PTSD. They saw way more than I saw on a daily basis, right?
And they won't talk about it. Well, in my experience, you try to act like when I was a kid. So how was it? And we don't talk about that. Like, okay. But growing up, I understand it now.
Exactly. But I think that we're finally at a place. This is a good part of the conversation here, because we are finally at a spot where I think that we feel free enough, and I think that we feel expressive enough and progressive enough in a couple of different things that we can say, you know what? I'm not completely right. There's a lot of jacked up stuff that went on up here, and I saw way too many things that I'm not supposed to see. And I know that I wasn't. That's not what a normal human's supposed to see. And the fact that I can say that out loud and say, like, yes, I go to a counselor. Yes, I seek help. Yes, I work for a charity that does mental health stuff, and I'm proud of that. I'm not ashamed of the fact that I'm broken. There are definitely times where my mental health feels like a debility, like a disability, where I'm debilitated. But I know that if I'm seeking help and I'm talking about it, I'm helping you talk about it, I'm helping that veteran talk about it, I'm doing a better service to you and anybody else around you than suck it up, son, drive on.
Right.
Like that's unhelpful.
That's not the
That's unhelpful. That drives people to isolation. It drives people to internalize. It drives people to not give any self-reflection, not try to learn, not try to get better. I mean, I'm trying to be a parent. We're trying to adopt right now. And I know that if I was to never seek help and never try to figure out my own stuff that's going on and try to process that, how would I ever be able to relate my experiences to my kids? And how would I ever be able to help them understand the world as it exists, as it is? There's a bad world out there. There's good stuff and there's bad stuff. But how am I able to better do that? So I figured if I can work on myself, and if I feel confident that I could talk about these things with you and other people out there on the internet and wherever I go, then I think that we're in a place right now where 30 years ago, nobody talked about this junk. Nobody talked about this.
Not at all. And there weren't organizations like StackUp doing what you guys are doing either. I mean, I'm sure there were probably people locally in their circles doing their thing to help out veterans or people in need, but at this scale, I might be ignorant, but I don't think there was anyone doing anything like this.
In terms of like
yeah,
I'm sure there's places out there. I mean,
I'm sure there were, but yeah,
we're out there in the gaming space, and that's where we're owning that. That's where we're trying to just, we're trying to say we're in the gaming space to do that. I will say, Lordly King S. Hey, hi, by the way, what's going on, brother? How you doing? He's actually done some stuff for us with the StackUp before last year. Really cool guy out there. But he said it drives to bad coping too. And what I think he means by that is when we don't talk about this stuff, and when we don't try to make sense of the things that happen to us, and try to get better and try to figure out ways to process and cope, alcohol is real easy for veterans to turn to.
Ooh,
real easy for veterans to turn to. It's a cheap, easy, way to fake ourselves into thinking that we're forgetting things, and then we're getting ourselves into more trouble. Right? We're thinking about it too often. We're maybe creating a dependency.
That's so real right there. Yeah.
And I think for veterans, alcohol is probably the easiest access to a fake therapeutic that we can get.
That's so much. There's so much facts in that statement that you just said. Yeah, that I can't agree more on that, man.
And don't get me wrong either. You know me. It's not it. Look, there are definitely days. Who has raise your hand in chat if you've ever come home from a day at work and been like, I need a beer. And I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with that. That's okay. Like, man, where's mine? You got a Modelo? I already have a Modelo. Bro, he didn't tell me that this was a wet podcast. He didn't tell me it was a wet podcast. I would have came upstairs with something.
Well, this was before.
That's what he did to pregame so he could deal with me on the channel.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, man, you're so many facts in this, but yeah.
He's like, man, all right, I heard about this Sean Deity guy. He talks a lot. I'm gonna have to liquor up before we start.
No, that's just what I do.
I'm kidding.
No, I know.
But no, I mean, come on. We all know. It's not. I'm not saying that drinking a beer is wrong or anything else. But when it becomes your go-to for your therapy,
handling problems. Yeah, no, I got
problems. That ain't. And we know that soldiers do that. We know that veterans do that. And so when you have bad coping mechanisms, you're starting on the wrong foot. You're already starting on the wrong foot. But let me tell you, grabbing a beer, jumping into a Discord channel, and playing, some Call of Duty with some friends probably is not a bad way to start.
It's not a bad way.
And when you get a conversation going, and then you got somebody that's close to you, and you're like, "Hey, man, you don't sound like you're feeling all right. Are you okay? You good?" And you got somebody that cares enough about you as a fellow gamer, as a fellow veteran, or somebody else to be like, "Hey, Zach, you down today? You're not sounding right. Are you okay? Are you all right? Maybe you're comfortable enough to be like, Sean, I'm in my head. I'm playing games. I'm just in my head. I'm trying to get out of my head. All right, man. Well, you want to talk? We talk. You need some more support. I know some places to go. Let me know. And see, that's how we help each other. So this is like a whole thing. Like StackUp,
a whole system.
StackUp is doing it with video games, and they're doing it with the programs that we have. But we, as gamers, as people who are in communities and gaming communities, especially as veterans, who can notice, I know what that looks like. Homie's in trouble. Homie needs some help right now. He needs to talk to somebody.
And I noticed too, like it might be a 50-50 chance, but veterans may be more, I guess, comfortable with opening up to other veterans. It's like a respect thing. Like when someone finds out that another person's a veteran, they're like, oh, like ears might perk up. They're like, oh, So I think that also helps as well.
I think that's familiarity is good for anyone.
Familiarity, right?
When you go to a doctor's office, like females will understand this first and foremost, because when you go to a doctor's office, the first thing that you usually see is if you would like a nurse present of your gender, then
correct.
You can ask, right? It's something that's always there. I don't think men notice it as much, but I know that those things are there, and that is because that is a way to say, listen, you've got a problem. You're here for your health. If you're not comfortable with the doctor or the nurse that you're seeing because of their gender, we will try to make sure that
Make some accommodations.
make some accommodations for you. There's no difference in that, right? So you feel more comfortable, right? Going to a doctor that specializes in something, like as opposed to, you know, a general practitioner. You
Right.
feel more comfortable going to, hey, you're going to take your car in. You got a Ford. You want to take it to a Ford dealership, or or you might want to take it to your boy Jimmy, because Jimmy knows everything about cars.
Yeah.
And maybe Jimmy is who you trust the most, right?
You trust.
You know, so there's a lot of that. So I think that there's definitely truth in what you said there. Veterans do tend to pal around and at least have some mutual respect there.
Yeah.
I think that there's still that hard part about.
Of course, yeah. It's still a wall you have to get around, but
Yeah,
it may be a
trust thing.
chance that, yeah, it's a trust thing, right?
And go back to the stop program. That's why we have an anonymous Discord, right? You don't have to tell somebody who you are. You can just go in there and say, my name is this 357, and I'm not having a great day, and I really want to talk to somebody. And people are going to tell me, and they're like, well, there's the 1-800 number for that. And that's true. But guess what? This right here, how many people have so much phone anxiety that they won't talk to their own family, let alone a stranger on the phone? And I'm telling you right now, if you're in trouble, if you know somebody in trouble, tell them to call that 1-800 number. If that's all you got, that saves lives. Those people are doing God's work out there for sure. They're saving lives. But this is hard. This is difficult. It's difficult to articulate. The trust thing is there. I don't know who's on the other end of the line. I don't care how helpful they want to be. I don't trust somebody that I don't know.
Right.
But in a Discord where you're anonymous and you've got a HIPAA certification and you can read all that stuff first, and you can say, okay, I'm going to take a chance on this. It's just this safe way of entertaining. Can you help me?
And we have a statement in from Palmer. He says, I think part of it from a man's standpoint, when it comes to mental health, depending on the generation, I'm 40. I was raised where men don't show or talk about emotions. My dad doesn't tell me he loves me. He doesn't even say he likes me, never has, but that's just the generation I was raised in.
I understand a lot of that. Because I mean, even without the military, I mean, again, I'm 45 years old, so I'm not terribly shy of telling people how old I am. If I shaved my face and my head, I'd get carded from milk because I think I look like I'm 10. I'm bald on top, and if I shaved all this, it's just a baby face, man. It's just a big old round baby face. But I would tell you that I think definitely men in America, for sure, we have been bred to man up. You know, take your lumps, man up. Don't be a bitch or whatever else you want to. You gotta. In some way, it's almost not manly to complain or cry or have emotion that isn't authoritarian, that isn't, very stoic and no emotion. And it's like, I'm over that. I personally, like 100%, like I'm way over that, man. If I need to cry, I'm going to cry, because trust me, I'm a little wuss, and I watch some movies and I shed a tear because I'm an emotional dude. But I wasn't raised that way.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of men in America were raised that way. So there's definitely some cultural parts of that. I'm not saying every family has that as a cornerstone, but I know that is definitely a thing that
That's a thing, yeah.
Going all the way back to like cowboy days and stuff, it's like, yeah, to be hard. If you're not hard, you're not going to make it in this life. It's like, man, you can make it in this life and be soft as pudding, and you'll probably be a nicer person. Because I just want to be, if I can be kind to everybody and I don't have to be hard, that's better.
Yeah, definitely, man. That I think do you think we're getting away from that, or you think that is still kind of underlying stigma with males today, with not showing emotion, not really saying how they feel on certain things, which could, maybe hurt more than help, because they're holding things in just to make sure everyone else is okay.
Yes.
Do you think that still is maybe at the same rate, or you think we're getting better at it, or do you think that's,
I think there's like a little bit of a dichotomy
layer
there.
Yeah.
I think that I think that in some, like, we got better for a little while, and I think that the reason why I am the way that I am is because I was able to say, stop, I'm not going to listen to that nonsense anymore.
Gotcha.
I've led enough soldiers. I have seen enough soldiers in combat. I've dealt with enough things. I don't need you telling me that I can't have feelings. You can just
Gotcha.
shut up about all of that and go find a new place. And if you need to find your way out of my life at this point, that's fine as well. And I've broke contact with people that have been in my life for my entire life because I'm not going to deal with that type of toxicity. I am way too old at this point, and I hate saying that I'm way too old, but I'm way too old at this point to live the rest of my life in trying to have somebody else press their toxicity upon
Definitely
me.
Understand that and agree with that.
I need to be able to take care of my wife and my family and live our life the way that I want to live our life and raise our children the way I want to raise our children. And that will not be impacted by that old mentality. But I also think that there is a current creep into our society that feels like it's a little bit of a slide back towards the toxic masculinity. And I don't want to get too far deep into the politics of all of that, but I mean, I think that we can all look at Twitter, look at Facebook, and over the last couple of years and see some of that toxicity and some of that toxic masculinity. I think that's kind of rearing its ugly head again.
It's really, yeah.
And I think that it's there, so it's hard to ignore. I'm going to fight it because I'm a person that wants to fight that. I don't want to go backwards.
Right.
I want to go forwards. It's where we go.
Zadira0212 said, one of my favorite Twitch memories is crying with Deity over the end of Gris.
I did. I played the game Gris, which is crazy to me because the game itself feels extremely feminine. In fact, it seems like it's part of the sacred heart of the feminine, and it deals with loss and grief and a young girl, and I believe she's grieving her mother. There was definitely some undertones and overtones of mothership and all sorts of other things. Zadira is a fantastic person, by the way. She's out there in Germany.
Zadira?
She is a wonderful human being. Thank you for being here and saying hi. But yes, I did stream that game, and at the end of that game, I cried 100% on stream. There's clips of it. It's there. It's on my VODs. And I never want to not be that person. I don't want to cry every day. I'm not saying that, but I mean, if my heart is touched, man, I want
let it out.
Look, when Captain America got Mjolnir in his hand and Thor was like, I knew it. I cried. I literally shed tears. And when he said, and I am Iron Man, and I knew he was going to die, I cried then too.
Yeah, that was tough.
It was tough, right?
That was tough.
I don't want to be somebody who doesn't do that. That's me. That's me personally.
You want to know when I cried in Jungle Book when Mowgli went off and left Baloo in the forest. I cried. In the jungle, I'm sorry, not forest. I cried in Jungle Book. That's one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, by the way. But yeah, so we've all done it, man.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you one more that I've never told anybody else. Here we are. We're on Ziggy's podcast right now, and I'm telling you right now, I've cried. I cried during Forrest Gump, and not when you think I did. I cried at the end when. He's standing over her grave and he's talking to her and he said, little Forrest wrote this letter and he told me not to read it, so I didn't. Man, I bawled my eyes out. Because he's such a pure heart that he didn't. I was like, this man didn't even read the letter.
Yeah.
I lost it.
Pinky said she cried on Lion King. Palmer said, I cried with Egon, Ghost, and Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Really? You know what? That's a pretty powerful. I know the scene you're talking about. That's a powerful scene. It's a powerful scene.
Lordy King Esda said, Big Sane, then Rogue One. See, look, we all had our moments.
And I'm good with that. Like, I got no shame in any of that stuff. There was a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3, I put something out on Twitter that I'm like, look, it was like personal, like, you ever use Twitter for like a little biography thing? Like, here's something about me you didn't know. And I said, you could probably search this on my Twitter feed somewhere back 3 years ago. And I was like, I cry. Here's the deal. And I'm a man and I cry. And I talked about why that was important to me and why I didn't care what anybody thought about that. And I got a lot of love for that. It was great. And then I got a bunch of idiots out there saying, you do what, pussy? And I'm like, yeah, I should have known this is the internet, and I should have known, and I did. I mean, I knew that was going to happen, but I got a lot more positive reaction to
Of course,
that.
yeah.
And
You
a lot of
always
other
have that
games.
one, just like what they always say in the military. You always have that one that you just have to. Oh, we're gonna
That
get
one guy.
along. we're gonna get along great.
Gotta
But
deal with
yeah,
that one guy.
so it's that one guy. And yeah, after formation, come talk to me for a little bit.
Come talk to me from that formation. I haven't heard those words in a long time.
Let's see. Zadira said the last thing I cried about was the finale of Schitt's Creek. That's how you say it?
Yep.
Creek?
Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek is
Judgeway, but I stand by it.
Schitt's Creek is probably one of the best made comedy television series ever. Comedy dramas ever.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
I started it late and I finished it when it finished, and I definitely shed some tears during Schitt's Creek. It is a wonderful, amazing, beautiful comedy drama. There's a lot of fun, great characters. Highly recommend.
Very interesting. Okay, that's good to know. I'm gonna have to check that out because I have a little list of movies that I need to watch. And but yeah, man, definitely appreciate just you coming on and having this conversation with us and just talking about mental health and just
how much I cry,
how much you cried, and see. But you have to get to that point where you're comfortable with yourself to say, "Look, I cry. It's fine. It's not that like you said the masculinity of trying to put up the image, it's okay."
I think if I could have like one little final thought about the mental health part is if anybody, like if you need help, seek help. And if you feel like you can't get help, you can get help. There's all sorts of different ways that you can find people to assist you and help you out there. If worst case scenario, I mean, I have had people DM me at weird hours, and I'm not a mental health specialist. I meant to say this earlier. I'm not a mental health counselor. I'm not a mental health specialist. I'm an advocate and somebody who has mental health problems and PTSD that I deal with. And I work for a mental health charity with StackUp.
But you did study it in college, though.
I studied sociology for sure, and I did study community development and things like that. So I have a pretty good gauge on the pulse. I mean, I can look at statistics. Before we had this, we had our other call. We were talking about some studies that I'd researched, just because I wanted to know.
Thank you for the follow.
There we go. Lord the King asked that right there, baby.
Lord the King.
But yeah, if you need help, get help. And if you need if somebody that you know that you love needs help, put them in the right direction. StackUp.org's website's there. We have our Discord that's there. You can hit help in chat with the exclamation point, and that should kick out a command for you there. Keep that, even if you're not going to use it. Take that link and put it somewhere safe. And if you ever are sitting there playing games with somebody that you think needs that, send them that link. Get them in that Discord. Get them in there to say, hey, listen, these people are going to try to help you out. That's what we're there for.
And in closing, final thoughts. So with all that we talked about today with the pillars and StackUp or the organization as a whole, what is one thing you want? I know you I guess you kind of just said it, but what is one thing you want people to leave this this interview with, watching this, people that might be watching this back that couldn't catch it live, that's going to be watching this back? What do you want them to leave with when Ziggy and Sean Deity were talking? This is what I took from it, and what would you want that to be?
Video games can save lives. Video games can keep people here with us. Community can keep people here with us. Geeky, fun, cosplay, Dungeons and Dragons, Marvel movies, comic books, you name it. That type of nerdy, geeky stuff is the type of things that we could use that are safe and accessible, and they don't require a prescription to do any of those things, and they're very valuable. It's another tool in your tool belt. There's absolutely no reason not to try to engage and use some of those things if you're feeling that stress. I think that most people do a lot of that. They do a lot of that and don't know that they're doing it. They're seeking out help and they're not seeking out help, but they're getting help by watching the movie or watching the show or reading the book or playing the video game. But recognize that those things are helping you and share that. Let other people know that these things are doing good things for other people, for you as well as other people. And when it comes down to veterans, which is everything that I'm focused on in general, I mean, I love everybody, I really do. But my soft spot is for veterans, and we have an epidemic of 22 veterans a day at the very least in the United States that take their own life. Over 100 people a day in America take their own life. 22 of those are veterans. And so that is just a ridiculous and sad statistic. And so if we can use video games to impact that even a little bit, then it's worth it and it's valuable. And if you're out there and you're hanging out and you're in this stream and you're watching this and you come across this podcast and you're a content creator and you want to go out there and do the same thing that Ziggy's doing right now and raise some money for veterans, contact me, hit up StackUp on Twitter, reach out to us. We will get you guys set up. We will figure out everything that we need to do to make sure that you have a good run at your charity stream, and we'll make sure that that happens for you. Obviously, that's my entire job at StackUp, is to make people feel comfortable to do that. I'll just like I did with Ziggy. I'll do this with you. I'll set you guys up to do your own charity stream, to just play games all day and raise money. Happy to do that. So that's pretty much it. I'll stop right there before I get off any more soapboxing. But
we love having you on your soapbox. That's why you're here. We love hearing you talk, and we love having you here, man.
Well, Ziggy, if I'm not on my soapbox, then I'm way shorter than everybody else around me. I'm only 5'8".
You're not.
I don't have a whole lot of height, so I got to stand on something.
Well, I definitely appreciate it, man. And before we get y'all here, I do have one final segment. I don't tell my guests about this, and those that watch all of my have watched all of my interviews know where I'm about to go with this. So what we like to do here on the channel and with our interviews is we have a segment called giving flowers while they can still smell them. So what I want to do is look in the camera and just tell you, Sean, from me to you, if no one has told you, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for what you are doing for not only just StackUp, but for people all over the world. Y'all are legit changing and saving lives, and the impact that y'all are having on people, like even just me, just seeing what y'all are doing just makes me want to get up and join in on the action. So just thank you, and thank all of you that are a part of this whole organization, that are part of making this machine run. And what you guys are doing is definitely powerful, and it's changing lives. And we just want to say thank you, and we adore and admire all of you for what you all do. So that's the final segment. Just want to make sure that we make sure to give our guests flowers while they can still smell them, because sometimes, like you say, we focus a lot on what we didn't get done, but we want to make sure we focus on how much we appreciate each other. So that's what we make a segment out just to focus on that. So just want to say thank you, man. And I've lost family members to suicide. I've lost I lost people in the military, my battle buddies, to suicide, to PTSD. And I just wanted to, when I heard of StackUp and I saw what you guys are doing, I just wanted to get in on the action, because it's not a good feeling to hear, someone that you love, someone that isn't even 15 years old, took their own life, or someone that you were legit hanging out with in a chow hall during a drill, or somebody that you were in AT with, during the summer, and because I was in the National Guard, they decided to, take their own life. And if I can help, if anything I can do to help maybe just save one person to not go through that again, then that's what I want to do. So definitely appreciate you. This definitely will not be the last time we'll be talking amongst each other.
I hope not, man. I really
just want to say I appreciate you, man.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And for the kind words, and for everything that you're doing right now by spreading the love out there as well. What you're doing is just as important as anything that we might be doing behind the scenes, because you're out there giving us a voice, giving us a platform, helping other people understand what we're doing, what you've got set up here. So I'm gonna give you some of your own flowers right there back before you don't get a chance to smell them too. So what you're doing and the way that you're going about it, this is how we help. This is how you and I engage and help and try to keep some of those veterans here with us. So what you're doing, I think, is absolutely every nearest bit, if not more important, as what we're doing behind the scenes. So thank you very much, man.
Appreciate that, man, because I just want to help. Those that know me, they know I just want to help, man. I want everybody to be happy. I want Just want everybody to be happy in their own space, whatever that may be. And I feel like being part of what StackUp is doing is putting that right foot forward. Dita5 said, "Great show. Thank you, man. Thank you so much."
You guys have all been awesome. Thank you for the questions too.
Before we send Sean off, can we get a 1 in the chat for Sean to let him know how awesome he is? Can we get a 1 in the chat? Can we spam some 1s in the chat for Sean? There we go.
I appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate y'all, man.
Me and you need to get some. I think we might need to throw down some Apex. I'll throw down some over.
You don't want to play Apex with me,
bro. I'll throw down some Overwatch with you, but you don't want me. I'll play some Overwatch.
I'm telling you. Oh, okay, we can do some more. But I play Apex. I'm not afraid to play it. I just know I suck.
Well, who you play? Who's your third? Who do you usually have as your third?
On Apex, I usually play Lifeline.
Oh, who's the third person you play with? You got a buddy?
Oh, it'll just be like some friends, just some friends in the Discord, or it's usually random. I don't have like a set group of people.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Good Game Radio, Miss Pinky.
There
we go. We got someone. There you go. Look at that.
Well, right on, man. Well,
I follow Deity on Twitter for all the StackUp stuff and really baseless taste of Volbeat. Yeah, you see that at the bottom.
Because Volbeat is a terrible band. They suck. Just in case anybody actually likes that band, I just want everybody to know that they're terrible. They're a bad band. Don't listen to them.
Appreciate
she knows.
Thank you.
She knows. Right on, man. Well, hey, seriously, you ever want some games? Me and you throw down. I'll play whatever. You let me know.
All right. Before we send you off, man, I'm gonna put you on your soapbox. What I always do is I give you the floor uninterrupted, and then when you're done, we'll go into the final credits, and then I'll send my community off, and we'll probably rate somebody. Right. This will be the last time I'll talk to you on here. So I just want to say once again, thank you, and you have the floor, sir.
Well, right on. Again, thank you, Ziggy, for letting me come on here and talking to everybody about what we do. Thank you for raising money for veterans with StackUp.org. If you guys hadn't heard, or if you're just popping in or you're catching us late, we are a 501c3 nonprofit military charity focused on veterans and mental health, suicide prevention through gaming and geek culture. Every part of our programs are meant to, make a dent in that 22 a day. I myself am an Army retired Sergeant First Class. I'm a combat veteran. I've got PTSD. I struggle with these things as well. So this is something that I'm very passionate about, as well as I am working with content creators and working in that arena. So if that's something that's interesting to you, throw me a line, reach out to me, Deity7 on Twitter and Twitch, and I will do whatever I can to get you guys set up. And if you guys need assistance, you guys need help, you want to know more about StackUp, you can ask me those questions too. Thank you guys for paying attention tonight. Thank you guys for being here and asking some fantastic questions and letting us kind of be a little tickle in your ear for some really important information and have some good conversations. So but Zach, thank you very much again for having me on. Absolutely appreciate you. Thanks, brother.
The war had just started when I arrived to Iraq. We did our thing, we had some experiences, and when we came back, when we got off that plane, before we can even embrace our loved ones, our fire team leader says, do not tell anybody what happened to you, or what you saw, or what you experienced, or you will probably lose your job. A lot of folks who really don't understand mental health see it as a weakness. We always jokingly said, suck it up and press on. You wear a beret for a reason. This mindset that we can't be vulnerable, we can't have emotions, we can't experience them, let alone process them in a healthy manner, that starts the stigma of mental health.
StackUp is a military charity supporting U.S. and allied veterans' mental health through gaming. Before we were sending Xboxes to Afghanistan, we were helping out, we were raising morale, but now we're actively saving people's lives.
We want to do an accreditation program it's kind of helpful.
Overwatch is our newest program, and it is simply having a chat client up 24/7. Someone is sitting there monitoring the channel, and if somebody comes in and says they need to talk or they're interested to get into a game or something, we have somebody available for them.
In most cases, when a person is expressing suicidal intentions, if you can talk to that person for that first critical couple of minutes, more often than not, they will not kill themselves. And that's what we do. They may not want to come out there and see a counselor for an hour, once a week, but they may come out there and play a video game and start talking about their experiences of war or the struggles that they're having right now. It has become my passion to end the stigma of mental health.
Definitely appreciate everybody that came through today. Appreciate it. We raised $150 today towards our $1,000 goal. It doesn't have a time limit on it. Hopefully we reach it. The goal would be by the end of the month, but if not, we're gonna ride this until the end of the year, and hopefully we can get this supply crate sent to a veteran in need. But I just know one thing: I can't lose any more people, man. And I definitely want to do my part in helping out any way that I can, man. And if y'all haven't already, please follow StackUp. They have a Twitch channel. It's a partnered Twitch channel on this platform. So go ahead and follow them. Matter of fact, let's get a shout out for the StackUp.org channel. There we go. Y'all go ahead and follow that StackUp.org channel. A clip might even pop up. Yeah, see? I don't know who that is, but they're playing Among Us. So I think those that are on the stream team, they host a channel and they'll stream on there, so you'll be able to see a bunch of different veterans on there and support them as well, and just to maybe connect with some veterans if you want to. But once again, I definitely appreciate everybody that came out. It means a really big deal to me that y'all came out. Even if you are listening, the future person that's listening to this back on the VOD, definitely appreciate you. If you got to this part of the video. Deity said we even have civilians. Okay, so even civilians on the stream team. So that's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that. We always learning. That's what's so awesome about this. But definitely appreciate everyone that came through. And what we'll do is we're gonna run our credits, and then we're going to raid. We're gonna raid VT and show them some love. Once again, thank y'all for coming through. Once again, we'll be back on our regular scheduled programming with Let's Hash It Out podcast tomorrow with S Rider and Tate Talks. And then in the second half of the week, we'll get back into our gaming content, which Ziggy is a part of. Yes, I am part of the veteran stream team of StackUp. D5, what's going on, big dog? Definitely appreciate everybody that came through. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Same podcast time, same podcast channel. And also, last thing. If y'all haven't already voted, go on my Twitter channel at ZiggyTheBeast and vote on what our community name will be. We have 3: the Brigade, the Zigzags, or the Cheek Busters. That's the 3 finalists for our community name. So we'll have a community name by tomorrow morning. So if you haven't voted already, go ahead and cast your votes, and we'll see what everyone comes up with. Once again, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all again. And once again, like I said, I'm not trying to lose anybody else to PTSD, suicide, or mental health issues. So I definitely appreciate y'all. If y'all haven't already, follow StackUp and educate yourself a little bit more on the platform, ask questions. And until then, I'll see y'all. Thank y'all.
in the game. John Madden, they know my name. I'm going hard, and I'ma to the right like LeBron James. I'ma do it big, I'ma score hard. Play it big, and I'ma take the charge. Poker face, and I'ma pull your card. Work for player like a Heinz Ward. I'ma block your side like my Tumbo. Hall of Fame, I go T.O. Can I get that Stone Cold? The hell yeah, like Stone Cold. I'm in the game, and I don't never lose. Defense is straight, give 'em the blues. Shake a man, and I cross him over, and I shake the defense straight out the suit. They call me Kyrie, no James. I do my damn thing. When it comes to this sports rap, I got this. I'm in the game, I want the throne, and I want the ring. Got the city, I am the king. When it comes to this sports stats, you better ask for me, they know my name. I go hard, I go hard. 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 I go hard, I go hard.